Hello and welcome. Tuesday, same time as usual, and a really interesting subject, the effects of a point of view. Have you ever considered that your point of view has an effect in your life? We talked yesterday because I had to have a surprise additional oil change because the previous one didn't do it good, and had to stay in a town that was big enough that I knew there would be a Subaru dealer. And we talked about our cars initially just because I shared that. And what we found out is that we both had been driving our cars a really long time, uh, over 15 years. And we didn't have any problems with the cars. Like many other people, oh, I don't like this brand, I don't like this model, and they're constantly breaking down. And that was not true for us. And what we realized is we had gratitude for our cars. We didn't buy the, oh, this is a lemon, this is not working, this is a bad model, a bad year, whatever is floating around in the universe. We had gratitude for our cars, for where they were taking us and how they were taking us from A to B and all the things. And that started a really interesting conversation. And Marianne, would you like to continue with where one of the places we went, and we'll just see where it goes then from there.
Yeah, from start, hello again. And indeed, we had a really interesting conversation yesterday, and that gratitude, we extrapolated the conversation from the car to quite a bit of what is material and how are we with material, as though I noticed during our conversation also, I went to my washing machine as saying, oh yes, it's the second washing machine I have that stands for more than 10 years, working well. It's not the top of the marks and not the top of the series, whatever, but it is impeccable in what it is doing and being. But also there, the gratitude, the kindness I am, it's a being different. And as a sudden, for me, I came aware as, wow, that was the thing that sometimes bothered me in a matter of speaking when I saw other people or see other people going along with what they have. And it doesn't matter if it is a pen to write with, or it is a chair to sit on, or it is the car, or it's more like, yeah, noticing and acknowledging the material we have. And in a way, it doesn't matter if it is a really expensive one or it is a cheaper one. The point of views we have about whatever it is makes a big difference. As seeing also with the clothes we wear, the way we wash it, with the way we treat it. So when we take care of ourselves and we take care of everything around us, how much different it is, even the way it is with us and we are with everything around us. It is really beautiful. And I remember, it's coming back now, that there was a point in the conversation, technical stuff came in, as though we questioned it. Is it truly that there is so much more problems, or there are so much more problems with the technical stuff? Or is it also the material we are using? And that's the difference, perhaps using or be with it and acknowledging it, but that material also is changing as we are changing. As looks for me, that's the way I perceive it, and you can perceive it totally different. But the molecules which the material is made from looks like they expand also. They rearrange also their beings as being with us, the ones who are choosing to expand on consciousness. So when I catch that, I started to have a lot less problems, quote unquote, with material and with technical stuff. What is your way of looking at that?
I really am glad that you brought up that our point of view affects each single molecule. And the item, we have a point of view about it. And how much have we bought into consumerism, which is telling us that this item and that item are only living that long and then we need to replace them. So in this, and we were wondering, is it in the same way as our body tries to please us in saying, okay, you want this, I will give you that, that each molecule, each item is saying the same thing. And I can drive, to get back to the car, we were driving our cars over 15 years.
Yeah.
How many people own a car longer than 5 years? And then if we go to 10 years, it gets far in between of how many people are owning it. And yet we know at the same time that the moment you drive off the lot at a car dealer, your price already dropped. The worth of your car already dropped, supposedly, a third of the value.
Yeah.
Why then would we do that? Except for having non-cognitively, unconsciously bought into what we are being told.
Yeah.
That, and the funny thing is after I drove my previous car for 18 years, I got a new one, and normally you get a 3-year extended warranty with your new car. And as those 3 years were ending and I was going into the 4th year, the amount of calls and notices that I got to buy an expensive extension of, warranty that wasn't covering a lot. Interestingly,
Yeah.
because at some point I said, okay, what is covered with that extension? And it was just major leak breakdown.
And this is an interesting thing, Karina, you bring up with the insurances. Most of the time, directly, they want you to buy an extra extended whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they look weird when you are saying, oh, I don't require that. I'm really kind and I treat my thing very well because I'm saying that. I'm saying that I take care of my stuff. I will take care of this. So surely I'm sure I don't require it. And then they are looking at you as though from which planet you are. all the material now is done. When they say there is a guarantee of 1 year or 2 years, most likely it's set up that it will be gone or have problems after that period of time. That's how, yeah, they see it now, how they construct it now. But that point of view, I never bought.
Mhm.
When I buy something, also, there is, and it can be weird, but in a way, there is a connection. It
Yeah.
is like, yes, we are a match. We are a match. And there is a knowing that we will go along well with each
Mhm.
other, whatever it is, because it can be a water cooker, or it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It is when I'm really being present and being me, not going along with what the sellers and what the promotions and whatever tells me.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there is no problem. But it is a consuming way of living in the last 20 years nearly,
Mhm.
that went up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
When
Yeah. I
definitely,
mean, where does the company go if you don't buy a new item?
yeah,
You need to replace it faster and faster and faster so their profit, their sales numbers, their whatever can stay intact.
yeah. And last weekend I went finally buying a new phone. And I have a smartphone, it's not an iPhone, and it doesn't matter. But when I was saying, "Oh, I'm really pleased with what I have, and I want something similar in capacities and an upgrade because we know we are far away." Oh yeah, and what is the type you have? And I said it, and she she was blowing away. That's a really old one, she said. I said, yeah, it's nearly, yeah, 5 years, I think I'm having it now. And it's working. It's only the charger, the battery didn't work well any longer, but
Mhm.
it is functioning as it is a new one. But the way even yeah, everyone around me, it's not only the ones who sell, it was my daughter, my son also with that reaction as, that's really an old phone, and you are still working on it, and you are still using it. Yeah, and it's working fine, and it does everything I require, and but I'm taking care of it. It's always I'm telling them, so by throwing in their world as there are other possibilities to go along the way with what they, whoever they are, saying it is.
Mhm.
And that is what we noticed for the both of us, that when we go look in our lives, there are so many things we went along for a long period, extended a double of time sometimes, just by the way we are with it. And I was so happy with that conversation because it was something I dismissed for myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't really aware that the way I am with the material, with the things around me, because it's so normal for me, that I didn't catch
Mhm.
that it isn't normal for
Normal.
the
Yeah.
majority of people, and yeah, that gratitude, that being present, that acknowledging. So, what the question that comes up now for me is, if we can acknowledge how we are with material and everything and everyone around us, is it then really true that we don't care for ourselves, that we don't treat ourselves well? Or what are we choosing there? It looks like, yeah, but
Good question. I
as
guess,
though, yeah,
go
go.
ahead.
As though there is something I twisted around, as I believed also, and that's the point of view that I took on, as I can't be that with material if I can't be that with myself. If I don't care for myself, I don't care for material, which now is really turning it around as no, that was perhaps what I believed, that I was not kind with me, that I was not caring for me, that I wasn't doing those things. But is that really true? Or did I live from the point of view?
I'm going to throw in a monkey wrench and
Yes.
ask a slightly different question. The focus nowadays is on caring about me, and whatever that means for each individual. But are we truly aware of the impact it has if we care for material things?
And it's
And
many.
is that, if we do, often more an intellectual exercise than a way of being with the stuff?
Yeah.
How much are we separating? And how much is
Yeah.
consciousness including everything? I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about it in Access Consciousness that consciousness includes everything and judges nothing.
Yeah.
But are we really aware what that could mean? Includes everything. We think
And
about people, we judge people, yeah, but it includes all those people. But we environmentally being aware, conscious, we include the earth. But is it every single thing that is in the world?
and it is. And it is. And this brings me also to a side way, which is the same way, but in the spiritual world, how much do they force the separation of material, seeing as when you are caring and interested and whatever for material, whatever material, then you are not conscious. Because that's not the
You are
material, isn't,
materialistic.
then you are materialistic, which is already a separation,
Mm-hmm.
speaking out like that.
Yeah.
And is it because I am willing to be more of me, to be willing more the consciousness I truly be, that I now can start to catch in which way we always were, or we always are one with everything. We don't live it, we don't embody it already, but there is oneness from the point of view of the molecules, from existence, from being.
From
There
consciousness.
is, yeah, there is oneness. And now willing to embodying it more, now it starts to turn around of becoming really, it's not becoming, and it is becoming, but it has to see also with acknowledging and
Yeah.
honoring and being vulnerable, and the gratitude
Mm-hmm.
that brings in an extended way of being with everything, including myself. Yeah.
I mean, if we really look at the word oneness, there is no separation. And where in our lives do we separate from whatever it is, but there is a real active way of being separate, even if it's saying, oh, this doesn't matter, that's not important, whatever our reasons and justifications are for doing it.
Yeah.
But we're stepping out of oneness.
Yeah.
Let that really sink in.
And do you know what catches me now in the energy is like this period of time, we are called in about the consciousness we really can be choosing to be and embody. And at the same time, there is a lot happening, but still that separation, as though like the vaccinated and the not vaccinated, and the one has to be separated from the other, and then the other they will include, but not really, because there is a danger, etc., 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 etc. So when we have point of views in whatever way, there is fear or there is danger or there is something, then it is functioning from separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to take it even a step further. I mean, in ancient Rome, they said divide and conquer. Separation is dividing.
Yeah.
And that is how we basically give something, somebody, whatever it is else, control.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it is control of making it a source for something, making it the cause of something. Yeah.
And we are at the effect of it instead of affecting everything in the way we are being with it.
Yeah.
And that is where also I'm just getting that, because Dane recently did a call on the difference between allowance and acceptance. But that is also where I am accepting because I have no other choice. I have to, okay. Yeah. But being in allowance is that being that oneness.
Yeah. Yeah, Karina, and acceptance, as though I became clear for myself where I was thinking I was in allowance, because in a way I didn't sense a charge in my body or whatever about what I was in acceptance of. Still, when you go into it, acceptance is still loaded with point of views, fixed point of views, judgments, where allowance is being, there is everything in oneness. It is. And is it, as he said, also the most underestimated potency we can apply, we can be embodied on earth. And that, when I heard him saying that, it was like, wow, yeah, as potency, allowance is potency.
Yep.
And it is in a way of force, but not from being forced, but from that potency. It has a lot of power, not a power to get things under or in control. No, it's the power of being, the power of space, the power of it generates also a lot more than acceptance.
What if we said it's the power of consciousness?
It's the power of consciousness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is so much more to go to get that, really getting that, and then being that. Because it's not only getting it, if we don't be it,
It's
then we, yeah,
may
it's
as well
still,
not exist.
yeah, yeah. And isn't it also that, like we use also we are about point of views and fixed point of views and interesting point of views. As an interesting point of view is also there, a way to open up the space, to let go of judgments, etc., etc. And still, when we play or doing interesting point of view, does that really change things? Or is it when we are being that energy truly, which is towards the allowance, the interesting point of view, being the interesting point of view, that is opening so much more also for being allowance.
And what just popped for me is it takes us out of the fighting.
Yeah.
That idea, and I find that so often, is that we have to fight what we label as bad.
And we have to defend what we labeled as good, which is also a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't it, Corinne, also in this reality as we grow up with, and for several lifetimes perhaps, is allowance seen as, or quoted as, the doormat, as soft, as not having a voice, as
not having a point of view,
and not having a point of view,
not having a standpoint, but
exactly.
a point, as I jokingly say.
Because when you are in allowance, then you are laying you down and everything, and everyone can walk over you. Yes.
Being in allowance can also include a no.
Exactly. But it's the way it's seen.
It's never portrayed that way. Yeah.
It's never, and getting now also by experiencing and exploring the space of allowance, there is so much more lightness. And as you say, it's also saying kindness and allowance and being vulnerable, etc., includes also saying that no, or saying stop, or saying this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It is included. Yes.
And I think that is the key word, what you just said, allowance. And being aware of the impact that our points of view have is, darn it, now the train left the station.
As it goes with consciousness.
That's a brilliant thought. Wow.
Yeah, as I have it often also, but yeah, everything is in consciousness. So when it comes back, and whatever, it's out in the world.
Yeah.
And this brings me to something different as it's out in the world. It is a contribution, even though you haven't said it out loud, even though you can't pick on the words you were thinking, saying, or whatever. But the energy of that
Mhm.
brilliance in that second is out in the world. And also that is part of that oneness, acknowledging that there is not one fraction of a second separation. It isn't.
Yeah.
So when we acknowledge that, how much more ease can we have? Be ourselves, as we don't have to compute where does my words go, where are they listened by whom are they listened by, what will they,
You
it
don't
doesn't
have to
matter.
see it in quotation marks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that point of view, which we didn't have such a point of view as, yeah, but me, this little lady, what can I be in the world? What of importance, of what change, or whatever it is.
I don't have billions of dollars that I can use to
Exactly.
force people to do my bidding.
Exactly. So, yeah. And that is such a big lie,
Mhm.
such a big lie, because we are truly potent and we are aware and we really can affect, not being in the effect of, but affecting, being the ripple effect in the world with the
Being the
difference.
pond, being the pebble thrown into the pond.
Yeah. And every day it is different, because every
Yeah.
day the pedal can be different if we
Yeah.
allow ourselves also to be that difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the question for me right now, so to speak, is how potent am I willing to be? Because if I really look at it, and I'm using things out of my own life experience, we are so entrained that we are powerless. We are not potent. Because I remember as a kid on a hike, walking and having my hands out over the plants and sort of blessing them until I heard the voice in my head, "Who do you think you are?"
Which probably could have been the voice of one of your parents who was hiking with you.
Or church,
Perhaps
or it doesn't matter where the
it
voice
doesn't
comes
matter.
from.
Yeah.
But who do you think you are? Is you are not the government. You are not this, you are not that, you are not rich, you are not, therefore you can't.
Yeah.
And how much is that making us at the effect of others versus being able to affect what is
Yeah.
going on in the world?
Yeah. So true. And that is the way we really grow up, is being in the effect of everything everyone is telling us.
Mhm.
Because whatever you choose, there is there are always point of views, judgments,
Yeah.
reasons, justifications why you can or cannot do that. We are not learning, or it's not learning, it's even, we don't grow up in a space of being.
Yeah.
It's always towards doing. No one is speaking to us about being.
Yep.
And when they want to have a conversation more or less about being, it's not even about being. Then they ask you, what would you become? As though you aren't already.
Yeah.
And to become something, you have to work hard. You have to be born in the right family, perhaps. You have
You
to
have to
be the
follow the
right
rules.
amount, the rules, the right amount of money, etc., etc., etc. So it's
Yeah.
always saying you are nothing. You depend on that and that and that and that and that.
Yeah.
And being with the craziness of that now, I'm so happy and grateful that it's no longer my reality, which will not say that I pick up things and sometimes I make sideways and etc. etc. But there is so much more than that reality, than this reality, that what looks like we are seeing and living in general. We don't have to live the same way as everyone. We can have our reality, and everything is in us. As we say, consciousness includes everything.
Everything. And
Even, yeah, go.
yeah, go. Continue.
Go.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Keep interrupting you.
Don't don't let the train left the station again.
Now the thing is my favorite thing, and there is the beauty in the diversity.
Yeah.
If each one of us is willing to have their reality, there is beauty. It doesn't require that we all believe exactly the same,
Yeah.
that we have exactly the same reality, because otherwise it isn't real.
Yeah. And do you know that so many people, as I speak or when I have sessions and I speak about, and what is your reality? And they say some literally sometimes, but yeah, but I require money and I require this house and I require this and this and this, as though when I'm choosing my reality, then I have to let go all of that. And where am I gonna live? And where gonna, as they don't get it already as it's all included. Yeah,
But that's where we
it's
go
not
back to
because you are living,
separation.
yeah, yeah. Hey, it's not because you are living your reality. I'm living my reality beyond,
Yeah.
beyond which will say a greater space of operating with allowing more consciousness, more possibilities, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But all the house is the same. My furniture is the same. My bank account or the bank is the same still. All those things, yeah, will continue. But
Mhm.
I can choose to be different with it. I can choose to live and embody and be completely different with it.
You can
And
be
isn't
your
that
greatness with it
that?
instead of being the peon.
Yeah, true story. True story. And then when
But
I'm
then
choosing that, it's not affecting me.
what just popped for me is technically, if I translate that into an image that came, is this we're all leaders, but the world doesn't work if everybody is a leader. There is one person that needs to be the leader, and the rest needs to follow.
Point of view about what is a leader.
Correct?
Yeah, and those leaders who want to point out everything and will rule everything, they don't like the real leaders, the leaders who are choosing their reality. They don't like it that much, isn't it?
No.
How can we fuck them up?
Oh
Oh
boy.
yes, because are they happy as this energy? We can be, you can be, I can be, we can be together, affecting
Hmm.
whatever,
Yeah.
whomever. Not saying do as we say, follow what we are guiding you to. What do you know? The conversations are really opening up something, and then go away, take away what is true for you and
What
what
works
can
for
you
you?
cover for you.
Hmm.
But the government will not say, oh, here is your bill. What do you know about it? How do you want to go with it? No, they don't say it.
Yeah.
My God.
We are so damn irreverent.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, choosing happiness, whatever it is. And yeah, it's not denying what is going on. It's nothing about that, but because I'm really present with what is going on, but it's not significant. It's being present with the play there is going on, etc., etc. And no matter what, the happiness I am of being, no
Hmm.
one can take it away. No one, nothing.
But that's how you become uncontrollable. Bad you. Oh boy.
And am I more in control?
Ultimately.
Becoming uncontrollable, but being more in control.
And I think that is exactly an aspect that not necessarily many get.
Yeah, true. As though
By
it
not
looks
being,
like there is only one way. Control is one thing, and yeah, not getting yeah. Oh, that's perhaps an interesting an interesting subject to go along
an
on
interesting
another week.
conversation. Yeah. What does it mean to be in control?
And the difference between control and
And
in control, being in control. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Karina, for the light and happy
Yeah.
conversation of oneness,
being
being with everything.
with
Yeah, but
being
it's
truly with everything. Yeah.
being truly with everything because truth, when someone here speaking about oneness, would they ever catch it that you can speak about being with material as though
Mhm.
what has materials to see with oneness? How
Yeah,
many?
but material isn't alive.
Oh, yeah, from that point of view. Okay, yeah.
You know.
Let's shake. Let's shake the world. Let's change the world. And let
Let's
us be
just
happy.
be able to
Oh,
not make everything significant.
no,
Poke some
no.
fun at things. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just got the image is poke some fun at it and you break it apart because
Yes,
it destabilizes.
yes, yes. And how much more fun brings that in?
I was just seeing in my mind's eye a dam that you poke holes in it and then the water squirts out. And everybody gets wet before the dam collapses.
And they don't know where it's coming from.
Yes. Oh boy.
It's so funny. So, Karina.
Take care until next week. Same time,
Take
same
care.
channel. And we'll
Of
see
course.
what we'll talk
What we will
about.
bring up.
What
Yes.
what is up for in our worlds that we
Yes.
find interesting to have a conversation about.
Yeah, to share and to poke the bear.
Yeah.
Bye.
Poke the bear.